Welcome in everyone, Professor Boley here with some new discoveries. I've teamed up with 3 colleagues in the field and discovered new Pokemon with an interesting theme.
Professor, what are your thoughts on Objectmon?
Well, Toasty, I personally enjoy Objectmon like Vanillite, Magneton, and Bronzong. I get why they're not everyone's cup of tea though, and while these Pokemon are more based on inanimate objects, today's video highlights brand new Fakemon that hyper-focus on designs based on
Pokemon items.
That's right, Toasty. We've all come across Voltorbs and Amoonguss, very obviously inspired by Pokeballs. But what would other Pokemon in that train of thought look like? Let's meet today's collaborators and get our video rolling.
First, we have Umbreon Libras.
A lifelong Pokemon fan whose videos analyze the world of Pokemon through art and video essay.
Next up, we've got Rupee.
A Hoopy Fruit who makes arts alongside his community and known for Pokemon Amber.
And finally, the Happy Gamer Nick.
An artist who's been exploring past and future designs through streaming of your favorite starters and legendaries.
Today's video is actually only one of 4 videos that the professor collaborated on.
So be sure to smash a like. And when you're done here, check out the description below to find links to the remaining collab videos.
And now,
Without further delay, let's begin.
So I decided to look at a different, a really iconic pair of items actually. So 2 different items that are, I don't think they're like related in lore, but they have very similar effects. They're basically counterparts. So the one that I started with was Luminous Moss.
I have never seen that before.
What? Good, that's the reaction I was expecting. So I'll tell you what the other item it is. The equally iconic Absorb Bulb.
Okay, I think I've heard of Absorb Bulb. What is the first one again?
So both of them, they're both hold items that are activated when the Pokemon is hit by a water type move. So the Luminous Moss gives you a boost to special defense, and the Absorb Bulb gives you a boost to special attack. Very related items, but yeah, super iconic, very popular. Everyone loves to use these.
Yep. Libras definitely didn't just make them up right now.
He didn't create illustrations just to sell this concept.
So Luminous Moss is a real thing. It is a type of moss that can grow in much dimmer caves than other moss because a cell structure that allows it to, it's basically a lens, so it allows it to focus very little light onto the chloroplasts, so it's able to do photosynthesis on very, very little light. And it glows because the light that's not used by the chloroplasts is then reflected out, and so that very little concentrated light gets reflected and seems to glow. But another name for Luminous Moss is Goblin's Gold. And so my mind immediately went to...
Oh, I love that! And I see the 2 stems or the stalks from the item popping up there.
Lumeneye. It collects the mineral-rich water in dark caverns to grow moss that it uses as protection for its brittle body. The moss on its body glows because it was raised on mineral water enriched by a special kind of clay. Now, if you're a smart Pokemon fan, you know that's a reference to yet another item.
Light clay.
Light clay. It's an item that extends the duration of Reflect and Light Screen.
One part of it, like the creature itself, kind of looks like decayed or almost like statuesque, and then there's a lot of life because of the green, so...
So with it over its eyes, we're talking about the actual moss, like, acting like a lens. Mm-hmm. So, like, it can see through the moss, and, like, they act as, like, a bunch of teeny tiny lenses over its eyes, kind of?
In the same way that Sableye can see through those crystals.
Uh-huh.
Somehow. Well, I started with the idea of a regional Sableye, but then it became a convergent Sableye. So
yeah, what I really like about this thing is that you can really see the 2 different things, the 2 different elements. So you can see the little hobgoblin, then the item inserted into it, which blends in perfectly. Awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'm happy with this one, but it is a relatively simple concept and simple design. This next one is going to be a little bit more complex. So the Absorb Bulb, I was struggling to think of something that could be another like regional form, right? But then I realized that the Absorb Bulb looks a lot like the actual bulbs of flowers called camas.
Wow.
It's a very pretty bluish purple flower, and with those yellow, I don't know, plant anatomy, but the little things on the tips of the stems, it made me think of another dark and ghost type, so I liked that as well, just for them to be paired. So here is...
Wow.
Ooh.
Septibloom. This Pokemon filters dirty water with its roots. Scientists have identified 108 toxins in its petals. People raise meadows of these Pokemon near polluted water sources to provide drinking water for their communities.
108, gotta love the reference.
Yep.
Okay, I see the face, I see the petals reaching out, like, this is what, like, Glimmet could have been.
I can see that, yeah.
Right? Wow, okay, nice colors. The Spiritomb connection is so visible.
Yeah. Just a little bit of kind of yellow on those Thamen. Is that what they're called? I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
The plant doodle things. Yeah, getting that face in there, like the eyes and the mouth. That's perfect. That's so good. And get it to pop.
Thank you. Yeah, the face was something that I kind of iterate on a lot in order to get to something that I was happy.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's so smart. I'm guessing this is a convergent Pokemon as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah, like, it's perfect. The fact that it's sort of mimicking a Spiritomb, but you can see the Spiritomb, but then you can also really see the item plus the other Pokemon. Incredible. Incredible.
It's just kind of slick that the bulb is like the keystone. Like they anchor it in a good way. Yeah, that's great.
The shiny for this one is based on a related plant called the Death Camas. The Death Camas, it looks quite different from the Great Camas, but the bulb, Camas bulbs are edible, but the Death Camas bulb is deadly. And they look very similar, and so you have to be very careful when you're harvesting to not get those bulbs mixed up. So that's why I use that for the shiny, and that's also partially why Septibloom is a poison type as well.
Got that ghostly connection with death potentially, you know?
Yeah.
Wow, I don't know. I mean, green and purple goes well together, but the shades you got feel very soft.
Yeah. The style that I tend to draw things in is heavily inspired by Pokemon, and in particular, like Gen 2 kind of aesthetics. So I'm glad that it still has a Pokemon look.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, 100%.
For sure.
All right, I think that's all for me for now.
Oh wait, did we say who's next? Is it me? Me? Okay. All right. I'm gonna say some words real fast. So, I'm gonna keep my item a secret for now. I only have one item in evolution line. So the first stage, I'm mainly gonna use the color palette, but beyond that, I kind of want to see if you guys can pick up on maybe what it is. It is a bug line, and I wanted to kind of evoke some of the classic cocoon caterpillar Pokemon a little bit. And then there's a whole thing where it like drains energy. It's like an energy draining thing. So there's like a little touch of like vampire Dracula stuff in it as well. But it's mainly just the color palette is shared with the thing. Okay, so what do I? So I'm gonna keep my item a secret for now, and I'll just be using the color palette to start off. So this is a 2-stage bug line, and I wanted to evoke some of that, classic cocoon and caterpillar Pokemon energy. And as it is an energy draining Pokemon, it will also be pulling in a touch of Dracula. I'm fighting the color palette a little bit, but for reasons I'll get to, I need this little bug to ride the line between being a dark type and, well, not. Because spoiler alert, it never quite gets to be a dark type. All right, we got Grumpillar, a little cocoon Pokemon.
This is so cute. Why it's baby Giratina. Like, what am I?
Yes, that is what it is.
I think I know which item it possibly is.
Oh yeah?
I think a revive, possibly.
No, yeah. It's a weird item. It's a weird item.
Is it an item you made up just like Libras did, or?
I would never stoop so low as.
Never. Okay. Good to know we have some integrity around these Pokemon.
So yeah, he's a little caterpillar bug guy. He's grumpy. He's not a dark type. He looks like he could be a dark type. This is like one of those designs and the evolution where like it's kind of right on the edge of it could be. You could justify dark type, but there's a reason why I'm not giving it, and it's a little more apparent in the evolution. But yeah,
it is very cute. I love the hood that like has the little ears.
It's too cute for its own good. I love bug Pokemon. I say it all the time. I've designed a few. I am stumped, but I don't care. I love this little Giratina guy. I don't know what he's supposed to be. I have no idea what he's supposed to be.
Okay, yeah, so he evolves. I'll let you know. He's, a caterpillar cocoony thing. He's the item in question. You know what? I'm not even gonna say it yet. Whatever. You guys can guess. It is a vampire moth, which I didn't really know a whole lot about. Vampire moths they basically evolved. Proboscis? Is that what butterflies have?
Proboscis.
Moths have?
They're
Proboscis,
tubes,
thank
right?
you.
Their mouth.
They're little
thingy.
tubey mouths. Except for theirs are rigid, and they originally evolved them to like stab fruit and drink the fruit. But now there are quite a few species that like actually drink blood, like a mosquito. So now it is a vampire moth. And as you can see from the sketching, it took me quite a while to land on a silhouette that didn't feel too much like just the item, the DNA splicer. And instead, I used the shapes to build off of it, enough for it to be its own thing. It also just happened to work out that the beak got to be yellow, so it looks very bird-like, since vampire moths often look and fly in a similar way to hummingbirds. In the end, it is a pretty menacing moth. This is it. It is about draining blood. I didn't want to go the mosquito route because I've done like a mosquito design before. So it's a vampire moth, drinks blood, steals their DNA.
Yeah, it's a DNA splicer.
Yeah.
This is actually so insane. The movement, the shapes, the rendering. Like, my mind is blown. This is so beautiful. What the hell is this?
Vampoth, the draining Pokemon. A Grumpillar who has been forced to use its horn to drain enough energy from others will develop a taste for it and evolve into this terrifying flying bug. After attacking, Vampoth is able to incorporate their opponent's typing into their own body. Researchers in the Unova region use this Pokemon as inspiration when developing the DNA splicers. So the fun thing is, he's bug flying because he flies, right? But I gave him a weird ability that kind of ties to the DNA splicer, where when he attacks something, it's like he's drinking the blood. He loses his flying type because he's full of blood in his belly. So he's grounded, and then his secondary type just changes to whatever he fed off of.
I love that idea.
That's our little DNA splicey.
That is so clever, because I was looking through like a lot of these items, and I'm like, key items, or like, these special items like what you're describing. I'm like, there's no way, but that is so fun and so brilliant. And I just can't get over this obelisk, like abdomen. the hat thingy is so freaking cool.
I love the face on it. It has this kind of vulture-esque kind of skin flaps below the eyes. I love it.
It ended up being a happy accident that it looks bird-like, because vampire moths look like, a lot of them, the way they fly, they look like hummingbirds. So having it lean birdish ended up just being okay with me. A happy accident.
Just very smart. And I can actually, now that I see the item, I know why I got baited into thinking it would be a revive. I didn't even know that thing was on there. Yeah, it's a beautiful design.
I can't stop gushing over this thing. Yeah, it looks so clean, so regal, artificial feeling, kind of like the DNA splicer was what, like obviously man-made, right, created type of deal.
Yeah.
I'm just so impressed by like the shapes and movement happening, like that top,
Yeah, same.
that hat kind of deal. Even with the antennae, look so unique and interesting. And I'm still seeing Giratina though.
It's got the colors
Color
for it.
palette.
Yeah, even the way the eye is set.
It really does. It looks like something that wants to drain your health. Like
It wants to suck your blood.
I feel like if you hadn't said what the lore is, like we'd still get it because it's right there in the design. Like we can see what it does.
Big spiky butt. Yeah. Spiky spikes. Drain your blood. Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, this was a fun prompt. That was a good time. All right, who's next?
Well, this challenge was, I think, maybe one of the most fun ones because one, you had to think about the multiple designs that were possible. I was thinking like Amulet Coin to Big Nugget, Prism Skill to Dragon Skill, Big Root Energy Root, but I decided to go for one which isn't on the nose that the items are connected, but they sort of also have something in common. This might be the prompt I had the most fun with. I had a blast trying to come up with all sorts of different combinations, but one struck me with the most positive vibes. For my first Pokemon I decided to make a creature based on the Eviolite. My goal was to make a little golem dude made out of the materials of the Eviolite. I wanted him to look cute, and I think I've succeeded. Here is my first one. Here is Eviolix, the hard skin Pokemon.
The colors are so fun and cute. And the eye, wow, I love the rendering on the eye there.
And you can guess on which item it is.
I'm glad that's not the item I chose. I considered it. I considered Eviolite and Everstone. I'm guessing that's your second one. It was high up on my list of possibilities. I'm glad I didn't do it. This is very cute.
Yeah.
Very cute.
I just thought like Eviolite, it's probably like a smaller Pokemon, and how can I make this into the stone into a Pokemon? I thought like Golem-like, and I went in a cuter route.
Yeah, his little gummy mouth is just very cute. Like he's gonna come up and gnaw on you a little bit. Yeah.
He has a gummy mouth, but he looks like an entire tooth in itself.
That's true.
Oh yeah, totally calculated.
But so then let's tell the viewer then what the item does in case they don't know.
Both defense and special defense get a 50% boost if the Pokemon is capable of evolving. So
with that in mind, you're saying that if we use toothpaste on this tooth, the defense of the enamel is increased. This is the storyline of the Pokemon. This man is big brain working for big dentist.
My mom is dentist, so it fits.
Oh, there you go. See? The conspiracy unravels. 4 out of 5 dentists recommend this Pokemon. Well, I'm curious now.
Is the lore that this Pokemon, is this Pokemon the Eviolite itself, or does the Eviolite, come off of it?
I have the Dex entry, so if you would like to listen to that.
Of course.
This Pokemon's body consists of hardened substance, making its skin surprisingly durable. It wanders around caves, fighting along smaller Pokemon, serving as a defensive ally to those who value its help. Despite that, it desperately searches for more power, wishing to help others with not only defense, but also astonishing might. It appears that this Pokemon is the source of the Eviolite item. So, it's more or less like chunks that fall out of this Pokemon. That is the Eviolite.
Yeah, he sneezes real hard.
Okay, that's better than them dying and you picking up the carcass.
Yeah. It's just small chunks.
It is a pretty big Pokemon, so it's like if the Eviolite was that size,
Oh,
I don't know how many Pokemon would be able to carry that around.
So indeed, I did decide the Eviolite and Everstone. So it was kind of like my first thought for this line would be a Golem turning into a Golem, like, I don't know if you are familiar with League of Legends, like Galio. It's like a big Golem, and I wanted to use stones in the design and parts Eviolite, so you could see both of the two things coming together. For the evolution for Eviolix, I thought it would have been cool to incorporate our second item into the design conventions we used for the first stage. Our second item was the Everstone, which is connected with the Eviolite through their evolution mechanics. The design itself was straightforward. This version had to look like it could actually take and deal a punch, while also holding onto his goofy look. We basically achieved this by adding the Everstone as armor and by giving him a sturdier look in general. Here you have Everix, the hard armor Pokemon.
So the Everstone is the armor.
Eviolix was purely made out of Eviolite substance, and this thing got the armor, which is the Everstone, connected through the evolution gimmick thingy, and he still has like the white spots of armor as well, but his body isn't as hard as it was in the first stage, so he protects it with the Everstone, and that's the lore behind this Pokemon.
He's big. Sorry, I was just saying, he's a big boy. I like that.
I can just imagine that walking around and like shaking the ground with every step.
Fun kind of hulking because the different pieces of it kind of levitates, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it just something that is that big and imposing, but like almost less corporeal and less connected. It's just a good juxtaposition.
Yeah, like why I did that, because I feel like the Eviolite is sort of a mystical item. So I wanted to add something mystical to this design as well. So I didn't just want to make another like rocky golem, but something deeper. Like the Eviolite is a mystical thing, which makes this Pokemon be able to pull that off as well.
If I'm thinking about the world element and it's living in caves or, any kind of like hard terrain, it's going to stand out. And it's probably got the mass, the defense, the actual ability to, survive against anyone that could try and take it down, even if it's cute and cool.
See it as like it doesn't have to be aggressive because it's big enough to just kind of shrug off whatever anyone tries to throw at it.
Absolutely. It's just big.
I was gonna say, I could see something with this concept, playing around with the item that, if a Pokemon can evolve, it utilizes it to boost itself. But what if another Pokemon uses that very item, this very concept of either stopping evolution or helping a Pokemon that can't evolve, and then adding that into the mix, and that's how this creature evolves. Maybe it's two separate entities.
You're building out my entire character. I'm done. Alright, Bonnie, you're up.
So, I ended up bouncing around a few items, trying to find more iconic ones like the Pokeflute that could potentially carry the design and just be identifiable off rip. However, the main focus was to tie in an animal that could be organically woven into the design, and so I found one that became the focus for a two-stage line, and I suppose we can just jump right into it. Strong design can tell people of a Pokemon's type, battle ability, personality, and of course, their source of inspiration. For a prompt like this, where we use items to usher in a Fakemon design, how clear should we be with the source material? Should it be incorporated directly, or should it be translated in a more organic way? Of course, I knew I wanted to make a really cool design, and despite a rocky start, I landed on an organic design to set things in stone.
Hello, MineCalf.
MineCalf are hard workers that enjoy digging for almost any reason. This has made them excellent companions for hikers and construction workers, and their discovery in days long past set off several Gold Rush eras that led to the discovery of various evolutionary stones, nuggets, and even oil fields. In the modern day, these Pokemon are rare and protected, and MineCalf that feature unique ore along their hide are especially off limit for capture. Now, I want you guys, it may be obvious, it may not be. I mean, when I was looking at a lot of the items...
Yeah, I know, it is
Rocky Helmet.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you know what? Alright, whatever, okay, whatever. I saw the Rocky Helmet, and I'm like, a trainer giving their Pokemon a hard hat with rocks on it for some reason. I started thinking about Pokemon that would fit that, and so the Rhino became a very clear choice with their hardy, exteriors. I was like, yeah, the Rocky Helmet. Okay, he's a little excavator and he can protect his noggin. I was like, okay, the yellow is a big part of it. I don't want it to be a clear construction hat. So I was like, I'll do this kind of layers of earth type of deal and kind of squeeze a little yellowy orange in there to sell that.
The yellow with the rocks on top of it, that was the dead giveaway.
Yeah. And because, part of me was actually trying to lean away into a different color, and I think it would have still worked, and I could be like, this is the natural version of a creature with a Rocky Helmet.
Mm-hmm. You justify the yellow, like the strata,
Yeah.
Like, just makes it feel very natural, even though it could be a very jarring color.
Yeah, I played a lot with the colors, and obviously you can see with the shiny, I just wanted to make kind of like this very true to form Rhino. Ideally, the quote-unquote storyline for these guys is that we have a Pokemon who at times may even be born with special minerals and ore that show through their body. And so they are a protected species, kind of like a nod to actual rhinos out there in the world that are poached for their horns, right? And so in that case, any variant with like special ore cannot be caught. And so, laying down that, now that MineCalf has been revealed as the Rocky Helmet, let's turn that helmet to full-on armor. Having natural ore growing along the head and even showing up through the body establishes the toughness of this creature, and I'll need to dial that up to 11. A mountain range of protrusions will make this Pokemon feel grand and add movement at the top of the silhouette in comparison to its very solid lower half. A pickaxe mouth and horn hammers in the minor motif that acts as an underlying foundation to the notion of this evolution being an amalgamation of all things construction. Minecrash, the Gold Rush Pokemon.
Oh, that's awesome.
Minecrash feature incredibly beautiful vistas of pyrite and ore along their back, and no two Minecraft seem to have the same formations of these grand stockpiles. These powerful Pokemon have near indestructible hide, and are able to withstand rock slides and avalanches with nary a bruise while it mines in search of rare minerals and ore. They enjoy lazy evenings after a long hard days of work by basking in the sun, their backs reflecting the glint of their ore, which can be seen from miles and miles away. So this is a massive boy who continues that construction motif. The silhouette reads like a mountain range. Even the horn plus the beak of the mouth kind of reads like a pickaxe. So the Gold Rush Pokemon with the fun little parting sift pun for the ability. That is not real gold. You cannot poach this creature. It's just a beautiful finish on his back. Okay, leave him alone.
Did make me think of like how people poach rhinos for their horns, and that this would make it quite valuable as well.
Yeah,
but
a target.
Wanted to make that connection to the real world, and without like going overboard. I don't know if I did. The gold is kind of a lot, but all the variations and feedback I had gotten was like, no, keep that. I like it.
Good. That gold is rendered so well.
beautiful.
Awesome.
Thank you. You know, what was tough about it was like, and I've been playing a lot of Tears of the Kingdom, and when you see like rocks and ore and whatnot that you can mine, it's very blocky and chunky. And so I wanted to juxtapose the earlier design in MineCalf. I love the way I got a pattern with the rocks textured across the body, and I wanted to build that up for kind of like an extra hide and then gold peeking through. And so I gotta say, I do like how blocky the chunks kind of work off of each other, but it took a while. It definitely took a while to find the way to render it. I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, this is the kind of Pokemon that would be very difficult to like get off my team. Like if I add it and I start using it and then it evolves, it's like it's a very, very, very unlikely that there would be another Pokemon in the same game that would make me go, okay, I'll put this one away. Nah, this one's staying.
That makes my day. And then I also wanted to point out the shiny for you guys, where going into that whole mountain motif, where simplified and kind of switched up the colors a little bit to give the gold kind of like this icy caps to the mountain kind of feel, with the earth below. So another
Very smart.
That is Minecrash, the Gold Rush Pokemon. Not real gold, but oh my god, I say these guys gave me so much trouble with the names, like all of the designs. But you know what? At the end of the day, all of our designs speak for themselves.
On Professor's orders, Toasty here to assign the question of the day. Which item from the Pokemon series would you want to see as a Fakemon? Describe them in full for extra credit. Be sure to comment your reply below by end of day.
Perfect.
As a reminder, you've only watched one video born from this 4-artist collaboration. Check out the description below to check out the rest of the content we made for you and go leave comments on the other videos saying Bonnie sent you. Also want to say thank you to Libras, Rupee, and Nick for joining me today. And for the first time ever, giving a huge shout out to my first ever patrons.
We're humbled and honored by your support. Thank you.
I've been your professor.
And I've been Toasty.
Until next time. So I'll go on 3. I'll be like, thanks for watching, guys. Have a great one, and then everybody can just say bye.
Yeah, I'll do your outro. Ready? Wow. Whoa. Whoa. We're so cool. Good job, everybody. Done. That's it. That's all you do.
That's a great outro.